All right. So today is all about getting unstuck. Have you guys ever felt kind of like stuck or in a slum or just kind of not motivated?
Yes.
Yeah. Super, super common. And it happens even more, I think, with entrepreneurs because we're such creative beings. So, can you guys think what are some of the things that happen like when you feel stuck? What are you feeling? What does your day look
Discouragement.
like?
I feel discouraged. I feel like I can't get nothing done.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Kind of like all over the place with everything. Feeling all over the place.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel as an entrepreneur, like just there's so much on one plate. Even if you have a nice productive day at the end of it, you might just be not feeling that productive, because the list is long and you want to get everything done. And, I think that's challenging because you're just by yourself. I mean, I enjoy this particular uh, being part of Keller Williams because I don't feel alone. I think that is very good. But in my business before, I felt I had to make all the decisions and I could push them and nobody was watching, right? But here it's different. Like, you're a team, you're working, but that's my challenge that I feel.
Sure. You're not alone. All of us are, we're all saying a lot of the same things, right? We've all
Exactly.
been in those places.
And you can also reach for help. There's some help or, some things so you feel, okay, I'm not the only one who is going through this, or you understand, okay, there's a better way to do things, something.
Yeah. Well, the exciting part is, I don't know if you guys have heard, but we are going to have a new office at 1619 Walnut Street. So for our April team meeting, we'll actually be able to be all together in our brand new office on the 3rd and 4th floor. And on that, we're going to have an amazing training lab, a kitchen, like space for everyone to come and hang out and also learn and work together, which will be amazing. But in the meantime, I want you guys to know, while we're all professionals, a very big part of this is personal. So you're not alone. All of you on here express very similar feelings. It's important that you feel like you can reach out and talk to somebody. And if it's not me, hopefully it's someone else, that's on here. So I'm going to ask all of you, if you can just put your cell phone numbers in the chat box, so that way everyone can make sure that they have each other's contact info. So that way, if you need a pep, right? Or you're not motivated, I want you guys to have each other's info because accountability is huge, right? You're probably going to be way more likely to show up to the gym if you know someone's going to be there waiting for you, right? You're most likely, going to show up to a party if you RSVP'd yes and people are expecting you. It's no different, right? If somebody's showing up to a house to see it, are you going to show up and show it, or are you going to stay in bed all day? Same thing. But it can be really hard to get motivated, especially if you have personal things going on, right? You have a sickness, or you get injured, or there's a death in the family, or maybe you're just having a bad day, right? You didn't get a good night's sleep. So I heard on a podcast recently, I listened to The One Thing. You can get it on Spotify for free. But just when I'm in the car, it's something, different to listen to. And the person on yesterday posed a really interesting question. And they said, are you interested in real estate? And I was like, yeah, of course I'm interested. And they're like, or are you committed? And I was like, wow. So I wanted to ask you guys, what are the difference you think between being interested and being committed?
Well, definitely when you're interested in something, it's just kind of, piques your brain. But when you're committed to something, it's right in the front of your brain. Like that's something that you think about every day. It's something that you're putting time and effort into. So I think that's the main difference between being interested and committed.
Definitely.
Interested is kind of more like passive, like, oh yeah, I have an interest in doing that, but I don't care to do it every single day. It doesn't really make a difference when I do it, but being committed, it's no, you're on top of it every single day.
Yeah. So then it brings up the point, which one are you to your real estate business? Are you interested in having this business in this big life, or are you committed?
I think I've definitely committed myself because I stopped working the 9 to 5, doing the regular thing and kind of seeing the bigger picture. So I guess I can say that I've been committed to trying to figure out what a day in the life of an agent actually looks like, reaching out to people, meeting with people, expanding, my horizons and doing all of that stuff. So I would say I'm pretty committed. At the beginning, it was just an interest. It was cool to say like, oh yeah, real estate, yeah, it's fine. But as I got a little bit more into it and put a little bit more time and interest into it, then I got a little bit more committed to it.
Yeah. So what's that why, right? You had mentioned, Crystal, like for the bigger picture. What's the bigger picture look like, if you don't mind sharing?
So I was working since I was 16, just a regular paycheck, no health benefits, absolutely nothing like that, living paycheck to paycheck. And until I was talking with my husband, and he was like, what we're doing is just kind of making someone else richer. And at the end of the day, we've really earned nothing besides a paycheck. And we're not building anything to secure ourselves. We want to go on vacations. We want to do this. We want to do that. But there's no income. There's no way for us to do it. We're just wasting our 5 days a week to only be free 48 hours. So it was that perspective that changed why I wanted to get into real estate, obviously because of that freedom, but also because we wanted to make this, sorry about Gizmo. So we wanted to build on something that will last us, that we've always had the dream of just having that home, that space that's ours. So combining those two things, it just made sense.
Thank you for sharing. That's amazing. Anyone else feel comfortable sharing? Are you interested or committed in real estate, and why?
I was always interested in real estate. I've been, looking at real estate stuff even before I got into it. But I'm definitely committed. I love it, every minute of it. I'm enjoying every minute of it. So I'm committed. I'm doing this all the time. It takes me a while to get something, I guess, you're learning things, but other than that, I'm totally enjoying this.
Yeah, and what's your big why? What motivated you to say, I'm gonna be committed and do this?
I always wanted to be a real estate agent. I think I came to this country, and within the first thing that I heard people talk about is owning your home and achieving your dreams. And we were renting, and I told my husband, we have to do everything we have to buy our first home. And we saved that first year and didn't buy a big property, but we bought it. And I found each and every property that I've bought ever. So, I've always been my real estate agent. I got my license almost 16 years back, but my kids were young, and the timings for real estate, you're working weekends and nights showing properties. So I kind of had my own other business that I kept doing, but I always liked this. I took back my things, and when the crash happened, like with the COVID, everything changed, right? So it kind of made me think, what am I doing? What do I really like? And, here I am. So I, enjoy this completely.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Oh.
Anyone else want to share? Are they interested or committed to real estate, and why?
I would say I'm definitely committed. I left the security of my 9 to 5 that I was working for the past couple of years. Something that, and it's real estate. It's, one of the things, it's not the cheapest to get into. It takes a lot of time, learning, doing the classes. It takes a lot of money. So I don't feel like it's something that you should really just do if you're just interested, because it's a big commitment, and it has, in my opinion, it has a lot of reward that, comes back from it.
Yeah. And Jakai, what's your big vision?
So I guess for me, it's
Hello,
adding
sir.
on an uncapped stream of income.
Sir,
Absolutely.
come here real quick.
And also to doing something that I can, that I have control over. That's a big thing for me. I want to be able to have, it's nice being your own boss, but it also takes a lot of discipline as well, because you don't have somebody breathing down your neck. You don't have somebody, checking up behind you to make sure that you're doing, X, Y, and Z every day. So it's definitely something that takes discipline, but it's worth it.
Absolutely. That's probably the hardest, right? To be your own boss and to stay committed, right? When I was in a mastermind, somebody posed a question and it really hit me hard. And it said, if you had invested $100,000 of your own personal money into your business, would you be happy with the amount of work you're seeing being done on a daily basis? And I was like, oh, because some days I'm a rock star and I put in a 14-hour day. But then there are some days where maybe it's 2 or 3 hours, right? And it's a balance. So you do need to recharge. You do need to take time for yourself, take time for your family. And that is where getting a routine and respecting the schedule really is going to come into play. A lot of times it's super common. We hear people say, I'm getting into real estate because of the flexibility to have control over my schedule. But what they don't understand is, in order to have that control and in order to have that flexibility, you have to have a schedule, right? You don't get through high school by just willy-nilly, maybe I'll take math today, maybe I'll take history, right? You have time blocks for when you're going to each class so that you can graduate at the end of the year. So I really had to take a look at, what does my daily schedule look like? And am I actually doing the tasks that are making me money? Have any of you ever heard of the 80-20 rule? What are some things maybe you might have heard about the 80-20 rule?
I have not.
Okay. Thank you for being honest. That's totally okay.
I don't think I've heard of it either.
Okay. Awesome. It's totally fine if you've never heard of it. Because guess what? We're all here to learn. So I'm going to share it with you. So the 80-20 rule pretty much says that in business, 80% of the outcomes comes from 20% of the activities that you do. It's a very simple concept, but in reality, it can be really hard to focus on. So, for example, we know in our job, our business, we need to lead generate, right?
Yeah.
When we lead generate, we meet people that we convert into clients, that convert into sales, that convert into commission checks. And yet we find ourselves spending time and effort and energy doing marketing or, dilly-dallying, right? Distractive things. And if we were only to focus on the 20% things, the things that make us the most amount of money, we would be way more successful. So then the question is, why don't we? Well, the reason we don't is because we get unmotivated and because we're not sticking to a schedule, right? So it's really easy to kind of fall off the wagon, to get discouraged, to feel overwhelmed, to feel like you're busy without actually doing anything, right? Dina, I feel so busy. I'm in command and I'm returning emails and I'm on Facebook and I'm doing an open house, and yet I still don't have any deals. Has anyone ever felt that way? I do too. And I've been doing this for over a decade. You're not alone. But what I could tell you is when I refocus and I think about, okay, what is my business all about? It's about two things: lead generating and reading and writing contracts. That's it. That's all real estate is about. The fluff, that's everything else. The previewing properties, the showings, right? Doing comps and CMAs. When you do all of that kind of stuff, right? It's not making you money. It's an activity that you might do to help you make money, but it's not the actual activity that's making you money. When you lead generate and you meet somebody new and you write a contract to get them under contract, those are money-making things. The open houses, flyering, door knocking, posting stuff on social media, those are little things, right? But they're not going to make you big dollars. Now, if those Facebook posts are purposeful and are helping you meet new people, that's a little different. Are we being purposeful in our activities? Are we mindful of what we're spending our time on? Is anyone willing to share what's something that takes a lot of time, something you see on your calendar often, but maybe is draining you?
School.
But school's not forever, right? Anyone else see something else on their schedule or something that they do often that can sometimes be draining?
Do you mean only pertaining to real estate or like everything?
Nope. Life in general.
I mean, for me, particularly, definitely my job, like my 8 to 4 job.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what, a minimum of 40 hours out of your week? Minimum, usually
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, usually.
Absolutely. And we want to replace, sometimes school or work with real estate. So we don't have to do that anymore, right? So it's even more important that we're doing those 20% things, because those are the things that are going to make changes faster. Now, we can't say, okay, or I'll stop working, or okay, Jakai, stop doing school, right? Because you still have to pay your bills. But can we zone in on what are those 20% things that are going to make that change happen sooner. So again, you guys might have heard me say, well, Dana, you said open houses is part of the 80% thing. That's a waste of time. But again, it's about being purposeful about it. So if you're doing an open house is a form of lead generation. So that's great. You dedicated 2 or 3 hours to do that open house. But did you do the work and the follow-up to make it worth your time and effort? So Earl, if he's going to show up because he's doing a painting job at his job today, is he not going to have paint? Is he not going to have paintbrushes?
No way.
Right? How is he going to do the job? Right? Is he going to use his hands? Like, he can't because he doesn't have any paint, right? That's what we have to think about sometimes with our real estate business, right? So like, okay, I'm doing this open house. Why? Because I want to lead gen, because I want to meet new people, because I want to have conversations with people and convert them to clients. Does that make sense to everybody? And it's not just about that one conversation, right? We might have to have 10. We might have to follow up and email and text and call. I can tell you when I get a lead, usually the first 24 hours, I'm the most annoying, right? Because I want to have a conversation with them. Hey, you reached out and said you were interested in this property. I want to help you. So I'm calling you, I'm texting you, I'm emailing you, and I'm saying, hey, I saw you raise your hand. You're interested. You want a showing. I want to help you. If they walk in the door at the open house, there's a reason, right? They're interested. They're curious. You are not bothering them by following up. Even if they tell you, I'm not looking to buy, I'm just a nosy neighbor that wanted to see the renovation. Well, they were curious enough to walk in the door. And if I know they're a nosy neighbor, they might have equity in their home. Maybe they're thinking of selling. Or maybe they have a friend in mind that might want to come and move on the block. So we need to sometimes consider our activities, our open houses a little bit deeper, right? Oh, well, that person, they're a neighbor, they're not interested in buying. Okay, but that's an opportunity still, because they could be a seller, they could know someone that wants to buy, or maybe they're stuck in a rut and they don't like their job and they want to be a realtor too one day. That sounds awesome. I don't know if you guys are aware, but with Keller Williams, there's a huge passive income opportunity called profit share. Profit share is when you love your job and you love being a part of Keller Williams and you share this opportunity with other people and they decide to get their real estate license and join Keller Williams, you get to take advantage of something called profit share. It's a passive income thing. It's a check that gets sent every month just by you telling people you love Keller Williams and they join our brokerage. Oh, wait, they don't even have to necessarily join our Keller Williams. They could join a Keller Williams in California. They could join a Keller Williams in Texas. You still have the opportunity to gain profit share. There is a gentleman by the name of Gary. He's been a realtor for quite some time. His profit share, that's a big part of his business. He loves being a Keller Williams agent and he shares that opportunity with a lot of people. And because of that, he gets a profit share check. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Sometimes his check is anywhere between $25,000 and $50,000 a month.
Wow.
Would that make a difference in your life if you got a passive income check for $25,000 or $50,000 a month?
Do the people that you refer, do they have to close any deals in order to get that? Or is it just, hey, this person joined and then it just goes from there?
Great question. So yes, they do need to be in production. But here's the thing. it kind of trickles down. So even if they do one deal, but then they also are like, I love Keller Williams, you should do Keller Williams too. And somebody like a Mike McCann or a Chris Summers or a Kevin Toll, right, comes in and is like a mega agent and crushing it and doing 100 million a year, you still profit off of that because you introduced Tom, who introduced Kevin, who's now a mega agent. So it takes time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight for you. It's something that grows over the years, right? But if you love being a real estate agent and being part of Keller Williams, that's another opportunity. So something to consider. Some agents also have that as part of their goals, right? I want to introduce 2 agents a year. Every year I am committed to have 2 agents, join Keller Williams. Well, guess what? 2, as you go year after year after year, in 10 years, that could be 20 people. You could be like Gary and have that passive income check. And all you did was tell people how amazing Keller Williams has been for you and what it's done for you and your family. So I like to share that because that was something that wasn't introduced to me right away. And I was like, man, had I known about this 2-3 years ago, who could I have shared this with and be profiting on, right? Gaining extra passive income. The other opportunity is as you guys start to produce and close more deals, there's other passive income opportunities within our brokerage. Is anyone interested in passive income? I guess I should ask that first, right? Yeah. So because I'm a producing agent, right? So I had the opportunity to buy title shares. So we have a title company called Go Abstract. And because I'm a producing agent, I was able to go and buy what's called title shares. So I paid a set amount of money for my shares. And now I get what's called a dividend check. So as Go Abstract starts doing deals and closing deals, and clearly I'm referring deals to Go Abstract, just like any other investment, the profits is then split by all the investors. So again, is it $1 million check? No, but is it money that I wasn't originally depending on that's coming in that benefits me and my family? That I'm literally working on my business and this other business is generating money. Absolutely. So as you guys start to produce, that is something that becomes available to you guys. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. And we can get you guys connected so you can hear about the opportunity, about title shares, about profit share. These are passive income. So things that you're not going to have to work on, right? That you will be able to generate money. Some of the richest people in the world have a minimum of 7 streams of income. If you knew you didn't have to wake up and rely on a job, would that make your life a little less stressful? Right? Again, being interested and committed, right? So when we're interested, we're like, oh, that sounds cool. That sounds neat. Committed is, I want to know more. Tell me more. I want to go to the class and learn about that. I want to know how I can make this happen for me. So consider that when things come up and about. Are you just interested and curious, or are you serious and committed? And are we focusing on those 20% activities that are really going to make a difference and make money? They're usually not the most fun either, right? So that's where sometimes having a buddy can be really helpful, or an accountability partner. Hey, Dana, I am committed. I am going to make training classes important, and I'm going to show up. And I'm telling you because I want you to call me out on it and make sure I'm there, right? We do that sometimes with workouts, right? You have a workout buddy. So like you can't not show up at the gym because your workout buddy is going to be expecting you. So I would highly encourage you guys, definitely consider getting an accountability partner. It could be somebody that's here in PC with you. If there's a family member, whoever gets you motivated. I know I feel way more motivated when I'm in the office or I'm surrounded by other people that are like working. Okay, I can't like be doodling on my Facebook, right? Because I see these people around me and they're on their command, they're making phone calls, like they're doing it. And I want to do it. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. So I want you guys to know the offices are available to you guys. Does everybody have a key fob? Okay. Do you have key fobs to 1619? Do you have key fobs to Fishtown? Which offices do you have key fobs to?
1619.
Both Fishtown and 1619 I have.
Okay.
What is a key fob? What is that?
So it allows you to get in and out of the offices whenever you want. Do you have one, Merlene?
I do not.
Okay. Is that something you're interested in?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. Crystal, do you have a key fob?
Yeah, I only have it for 1619.
Okay. So you get a free key fob for 1619 Walnut. Super easy. You just have to go there one day, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Jay is our front desk office coordinator. He can get one made for you. If you would like one for Fishtown or Conshohocken, if you think you're ever going to come out to the Conshohocken office and do stuff in the suburbs, it's $15 for the additional key fob. So 15 for Fishtown, 15 for Conchi, and you can get them at your discretion. If you're like, Dana, I'm probably not going to go there. I'll wait and see. That's totally fine. But you should all at minimum have one for 1619. This will allow you to get into the office if you want to go at 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock at night or on Saturdays and Sundays. I know for me, I love going to the office on a Saturday. I'll wake up, have breakfast, with my husband. And then usually by like 11 o'clock, I'll go into the office for 2 hours by myself. And I just focus and work for 2 hours. And I'm like, wow, I got so much done because I didn't have the dog or I didn't have, this going off or that going off. I could just truly get in the zone. So 1619, you can get a free key fob, and you should, because that's our main headquarters. That way, if you ever have commission checks or rental checks, you need to drop them off, you can easily go to the office when it's convenient for you. And then if you want one, like I said, for Fishtown or Conshohocken, you'll just need to coordinate. So for the Fishtown one is Joe at the Fishtown office. So if anybody is coming Friday, so I'll be there 12 to 3 working. And then we have a casual happy hour from 4 to 6 on Friday. So if you guys want a key fob, Joe will be there till 5. I would just say if you want a key fob for Fishtown, just let Joe know what time you're going to stop by. So that way he can have it ready for you. And it's either cash, $15, or a check to Keller Williams, Philadelphia for $15. And you can get your key fob. Highly, highly encourage you to do that. So leads me back kind of to routine, right? So now you guys have an option, you have a place to go and work either on the weekends or when you're not in school or when you're not at your job, right? It's probably going to feel a little bit more productive because you're not on your couch or in your bedroom. So I encourage you guys to utilize it, right? It's part of your agent fees that you're paying for every month. So why not utilize the things you're paying for, right? And make a routine. Can you set aside time dedicated in an environment that is productive for you? And maybe you have an accountability partner so you both show up. Hey, every Friday, from 3 to 5, we're going to meet at the Fishtown office and we're going to focus on lead gen. That's a 20% activity that's highly focused. And I promise you will push your business further, faster. So how many of you guys are using a calendar? Jakai, what kind of calendar are you using?
My best friend, who is actually my accountability partner for a lot of things, she got me a planner. So it has like an actual calendar where it shows you by month, but then it has a section for each individual day as well. So I can do stuff like time block and write down what I need to do, write down like important dates like birthdays or appointments and stuff.
That's awesome. So I encourage you, how often are you sitting down and like writing out your schedule? Do you have a certain day you do that?
Yeah, I usually try to do it over the weekend to plan ahead for the following week. Like I
Love
write
it.
down everything. I write down like, what days I'm going to devote to whatever, thing I want to do, for days where I'm going out to view properties. I write that down. I even write down like what days I have assignments due for school.
That's really, really smart because we know, right? Like you gotta plan for those assignments.
Yeah, I remember I went to one of the training classes in Fishtown, and I got the idea from Josh because he was saying that that's one of the things that he does. He said that he even time blocks dates with his wife.
That should be the first thing on your calendar. So Gary Keller has told us time and time again, you time block for your family and fun first. And those should be your non-negotiables. So when you look at your calendar, what are your days off? Where are your vacations? Where are your date nights? Those need to be blocked off first. Then you fill in business. I think we can all agree we would love to have more time with family and friends. We can. We just have to time block it. If I want to see my sister 4 times a month, there's no reason I can't. I just have to time block it and schedule it. I want to have family dinners. I can, there's no reason why I can't. If that's truly important to me and I'm truly committed to that, I'll put it on my calendar. I don't know, how many of you guys know I have a horse?
I do.
Nice.
So cute.
I do. So since I was 7 years old, I have always wanted a horse of my own. That's all mine. I can do whatever I want with it. And during the pandemic, I took the leap of faith and I was like, screw it. If we're all going to die of COVID, I'm getting a horse. And that's what I did. And you know what? It's been the best decision ever. I was committed. I jumped in and I did it. And I knew it was going to take more than just the money to buy the horse, right? I was going to have to take care of it. I was going to have to show up. I was going to have to be responsible for it. And I do, and I have to tell you, like, it definitely like regenerates me and, recharges me. And it also kind of centers me. Do you guys have anything that you do that like when you're there, you can just focus on that one thing? You like, don't pick up your phone. You're just kind of there. Does anybody have anything like that in their life?
My kids for sure.
Yeah.
They won't allow me to even pick up the phone. And then, they take my phone like, no, Mom, you can't have this while we're here. So definitely my kids.
Yeah. How many kids do you have, Marlene?
I have 3, 7, 5, and 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they'll take that phone and hide it in the toy box, right?
They'll hide it. And, that's just them telling me I need your full attention and I have to give it to them. So
Yeah, absolutely. But it's also good because you're super present, right? And you're in the moment.
exactly.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Do you have a place where you're like totally in the zone?
Probably reading for me, just because it's my time. Everything is quiet. I'm away from the hustle and bustle of everything, and I can kind of just be somewhere else that's not my life. So that's the point where I just can put my phone down. Some people, I wish they get the memo to not bother me when I'm doing it, but we're working on that.
Love that. And Crystal, what kind of things do you like to read? Fiction, nonfiction?
Fiction, nonfiction. I really like anything like World War II. For some reason, I'm like really into it. So I'm kind of all over the place.
Nice. I love to read too. That's like my nighttime unplug. I love it. I've even joined a book club. I'm like, I never thought as a teenager I'd be someone to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to join book club, because I hated reading books in school, but now I love it. Like, and I love when I get to talk to other people about the book and what's going on. And what do you think about this? What's going to happen about that? I didn't like that ending. What do you think happened? Right?
I'm not into like the self-help books and, doing all that. That's no. I want to go somewhere else. I want to read, some fantasy stuff or anything like that.
Love that. Absolutely. Anyone else want to share? What do you do to be present or just kind of zone out?
Mine is actually the exact same as Crystal's. I love to read. I've always loved to read. It's funny. My friends used to call me in high school like, "Oh, what are you doing? We have a free period." I'd be in the library reading a book.
Nice. What do you like to read?
I like to read fiction mostly, but I'll read anything that's interesting, honestly.
What has been your favorite book you've read recently?
Oh man, I guess anything in the Mortal Instruments series.
Okay, I've never heard of those.
Oh yeah, they made a movie for the original series. It's called The Mortal Instruments, but then they made a show based off of it too called Shadowhunters.
Okay, I've heard of Shadowhunters.
Yep, it comes from the Mortal Instruments books. Yep.
Very cool. Yeah, I love that it like you can transport, right? Like you're sitting in your room on your bed and all of a sudden you're like in this other world, right? I love reading. I have a whole new appreciation as an adult. Someone could pay me just to read books, I would totally sign up. Anyone else want to share what else kind of gets you in the zone? Gets you present? You like to selflessly, right, dive into?
And for me, it's my kids first, always.
Yeah. And Sneha, how old are your kids?
My kids are grown up almost now. They're 21 or 20, and the other one is going to turn 14 soon.
Yeah. So they probably, the time that you get with them, right, is very precious.
Very. Yep, very precious. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we do what we do, right? So that we can have more time for those precious moments,
Yeah.
right? Do you have dedicated time on your calendar for family time?
See, I work for myself always, so they've always been part of my calendar,
But is it like purposeful, right? Just like how you have appointments.
Yes. Now that my daughter has moved away, so she becomes always like, I know what I'm doing at what time with her. So that's definitely my evenings are with my younger daughter, in the sense that, I'm with her, either driving her to her different classes or whatever. So that I have time with her. So I know those timings, so they are on my calendar, obviously. So
yeah, but driving, that's not really time together. Time together is like going to a movie, going to an event. Driving, that's like taxiing.
I know, but you know what? I have had the most precious time. I know people say that, oh, you're driving around your kids and I can't wait to stop it or whatever. But I think I find that my life, I have always seen those were the best moments. Okay. Because they were either telling me things that they did not plan to tell me, because they were either, coming out of a class, they felt something. So I find that those times, I never take them for granted. Like I'm always, no matter how busy I am, I always will do that, because that's when you catch them in the raw, like, they're coming out of something and they're talking something, they're coming out of school and they may just say something to you, which even if you go out, they will never say those things, So for me, that those are very precious times, to get to know them, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to encourage all you guys to consider. I will email this out to you guys as well. So it's called My 66-Day Challenge. And what I like is it's not about business always. You can see there's different areas of your life. So you can make your challenge about different ones. So maybe this first 66 days, you want to focus on your physical health. Or maybe this month you really need to focus on your business. But you can pick, whatever is most important to you. So, what is that thing you want to focus on, right? So maybe it's that habit is having 1 hour every day dedicated to reading. And you're going to write that in. Or I'm going to have, family time dedicated every day, family time for 30 minutes. I'm going to, whether it's in the morning, the afternoon, the evenings, every day, I promise. You're promising yourself, you're committed, right? So I want you guys to consider this. Again, just pick one. Just the most important is that you're super, super focused and not trying to get overwhelmed to do 10 different things. Just try and do one committed thing. So for example, like I said, if it's your personal life, maybe it's reading for 1 hour. If it's your kids, right? Key relationships. Maybe it's financing. I want to save X amount of money. So every day I'm going to save $5. You're going to write it down, because when you use like pen and paper versus just saying it, it really has an impact and a difference. And you're way more likely to actually do it. So you're going to write it down, and then you're going to just check it off every day. So now you're going to physically see, are you truly committed? Are you truly doing this? Again, it doesn't have to be business. This could be an opportunity if you do really want to dig into your lead gen and say, I'm going to be committed to lead gen and meeting one new person every day, and then check it off. Who's that new person that you met every day? Does this sound like something you guys would find useful or would actually do?
I would use it and do it.
Okay. Because if it's not, that's totally okay.
I definitely can use it because that's one of my areas of struggle. So I could definitely use some help there.
Okay.
Time management.
Yeah.
Ditto for me.
It's a common thing, guys. Like, we all struggle with it. What I find is, going back to the beginning, right? We all get overwhelmed. We all get stressed. We all take on way too many tasks, right? My to-do list, right? Let's see. I need to do everything. This is everything I need to do today. But what honestly is surprising, not surprising, is out of all of these things, probably only one or two are actually going to make me feel committed and feel like I accomplished something today. So I'll share with you guys, I was never the type of kid to like make my bed. Like, I threw off the covers and I went about my day, whatever. And then I was like, why make my bed? I'm just going to get back in it at the end of the night. Right. Well, I heard a gentleman speak, and he wrote a book called Make Your Bed. And he talked about how so many people feel defeated because you go through life and you're just doing, but then you're like, but what did I really accomplish? What did I really do? And so many times we feel this way, right? Like, I'm trying to save money, but I just keep seeing my bank account go down and down and down, right? So he said, it usually starts with something like that you do first thing, right in the morning, because you're committed to it, right? And you're going to do it. It sounds silly, right? But like, do you get up in the morning and brush your teeth? Do you do it every day? I'll admit, sometimes when I'm on vacation, I don't brush my teeth, right? I get up, I'm like, blah, whatever. I got to get to the pool. But most of the time I do. And it's something we just take for granted. It's a habit. You get up, you brush your teeth. Before you go to bed, you brush your teeth, then you go to bed. It's a habit. It's just become a natural thing, right? And maybe I don't appreciate it anymore, but by doing it, my teeth aren't rotted and my teeth aren't going to fall out and I'm not getting cavities, right? That's kind of how we have to kind of start thinking about things that are important to us. So again, I said about I was never good about making my bed. Well, so I started. Someone's like, here's the 60-day sheet. What's one small habit thing you think you could change that might have an impact in your life? So it's like, okay, it takes what, at most 5 minutes to make your bed. Maybe a little more if I change the sheets too. So now that's what I do. It's become a habit. I get up in the morning, go wash my face, brush my teeth, and then I come back in my room and I make my bed. And if I get nothing else done in the course of my day, when I go back to my bed at night, I go, well, at least I did that. And I have a small sense of like appreciation. And it's funny because now it's a habit. I don't think about it anymore. Like I wake up and I brush my teeth, I wash my face and I make my bed and then I start my day. It's just become a habit. And what I have found is by utilizing the 66-day challenge, even though something so small, right? Like that 5 minutes, it's had a huge impact. That's become a 20% in my life because I get that sense of accomplishment. I did something today. Even if I got up and was a couch potato all day, at least I made my bed, right? So that's sometimes what we have to do when we get stuck is what is one small habit that we can commit to that over time is going to have a really big impact on our life. And what I like with the 66-day challenge is it's essentially 2 months. And we know there's 12 months in a year. So if I made a commitment to myself and I did a 66-day challenge and made something become a new habit, in the course of a year, I could have 6 really positive, meaningful habits that I've changed just by doing one for 66 days. So I would encourage you guys, think about something that maybe you want to do, whether, again, it's something personal like dedicated time to reading or your business. I'm going to be committed to lead generating, meaning one new person every day and adding them to my database. But it's not just that, right? Because lead generation is getting an appointment. We need to meet someone, make an appointment. Maybe it's something family oriented. I want to make sure I'm having time set aside for my friends, my partner, my kids every day, like purposefully. I'm going to make sure I have time. Again, it doesn't have to be huge. One thing that really helped me a lot during the holidays is always super stressful because you're spending a ton of money. You have to see family, you have to go to parties, or during COVID, right? A lot of people were sick and you couldn't go to those fun things that you look forward to every year. So I started a gratitude journal. And again, I was never a journal kind of person, but I just made sure I had 5 minutes every day. And I would just write down 3 things I was grateful for that day. I was really grateful it was sunny today. I was really grateful, my puppies actually went to the bathroom outside and not inside. It doesn't have to be anything huge, right? But again, like it became a habit. So when my day got really rough and I was able to stop and think about, but what was the good in today? Somebody held a door for me. Somebody gave me a compliment. So even though it was pouring rain and my shoes got wet and I had a flat tire, but these 3 things happened and they actually were really nice, good things. I have a roof over my head. I have food on my table. right? The place I'm living in isn't being bombed or attacked right now. It's really easy to kind of spiral down in that deep, dark hole, especially with the media, right? Oh, gas prices are now like $4.50. You know, we're stressed about bills. Sometimes we just need to surround ourselves with awesome people that just make us laugh and have fun. So I thank you guys so much for your time today. I hope you found value today in our training. I know it's not super traditional, right? But I think it's really, really important that we talk about how to get unstuck, because it's something that we probably all struggle with every day. But I want you guys to know you're not alone. Very much, we're all here for each and every one of you. And I hope I get to see you guys on Friday.
Looking
thank you,
forward
guys.
to dinner. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for being here. And if you need help with anything, if you need a key fob, let me know. You should have in the chat box the one thing 66-day calendar. So feel free to check that out. I'll also send it in an email so you have it too. But have a great day, guys.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Jane. I'll see you
you.
tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Great day, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one, everybody.
Everyone, bye.